Alrighty, everybody. So currently I have 3 planets that have running workshops going on, basically. I have 3 planets doing what they should be doing. And then I have another planet that I have to currently build. So I'll show you guys how to build a planet from that point. Because once you know how to do one, it's pretty self-explanatory how to do the others. Now, I'm going to say this right up front. I'm not the best at PI. I'm still learning it myself, but I figured there's not a lot of videos out there on teaching you how to do PI in general. So, I'm going to show you 3 examples of my PI work that I've been doing. They get progressively better as you go. And then I'll make a planet with you guys. So, this is our plasma planet, which currently has 4 drill heads on each one, and it produces in a line. So, it will process twice because I have 2 processing factories for our to each one extractor unit, which can both harvest enough to produce these 2. Then they go to storage containers. Each one of these has storage containers between it, including the command center. And then they go to a final production of uranium. And then they go to the starport to send out. I know that doesn't make a lot of sense right now, but once you go through the process of actually seeing me make one, it'll make a lot more sense. Now we'll view this next barren planet. This is my nanite production site, which is currently doing 3 harvesting nodes over here and 4 over here. This is possible because I have different time lengths on these than they are. They're different than each other. So one runs for 2 days and one runs for a single day. This keeps them running at the same rate to be able to supply 2 production sites, refining sites, and then they go to 2 production sites, creating constant flow of nanites to our starport. This is going to make money because you don't use nanites in the production of our station fuel. So this is just an extra planet that I'm going to make money off of. Now, the one that's making mechanical parts is right here. This is a much more compact design, thusly it'll be a lot more efficient and it works a lot better. Now, I got lucky because my harvesting sites were in a good spot. So, I have 5 heads up here, and then 3 up there and 2 down here. This one has 2 and 3. This one has all 5 up here. So, they each feed into 2 sites, just like on the other planet. And then, but each extractor is feeding into the same storage container. Now, each one of these processing nodes is all feeding into the command center, which then feeds into 2 production sites that feed into the starport. This is a much more compact design that's doing a lot better than the other 2 I showed you. Hopefully it runs right and it does what it's supposed to, but this is a test to see how this works. Now, let's create our gas planet so that you fully understand what I was talking about. So currently we have our 1 command center. You do not need to buy anything else from the market, just the command center. Everything else you buy is purely ISK related. So, what we're going to do is we're going to throw down our extractor unit up here. This is your first step into creating your planet, your harvesting array rather. So we set, oh, that's a terrible location. Let's redo that. I was holding down on the command center and I couldn't quite see. You want these as close as you can because the links that they create use CPU and power as well. So you don't want to waste anything. You want to have it very tight and compact. So this guy will feed into our command center. From there, it'll be processed using our basic industry facilities. If we can get extra, we will, but for now we're just going to do 1. Alright. Now, what we'll do is we'll throw a storage facility between this and its advanced site. So we'll set that down. We'll throw a storage between that and our small basic. And then we'll throw a storage facility between that and its harvesting array.
The reasoning behind why we're doing it in this manner is because of the fact that our aqueous liquid and ionic solutions are in two different locations, and they're very far apart. Also, we're going to put our starport right next to this advanced spot. Okay. So, once again, the reasoning behind this is that this node has to be close to this bubble, while this node needs to be close to this bubble. While they're close, they're not in the best spot to be able to make them together. So, like, unlike our barren planet, which has a great spot for the manufacturing of the mechanical parts, this planet is a lot stretched, so it's a lot harder to get in our extra facilities. So currently, looking at how much power we have left, we don't have as much as we would like to add another facility. So what we're actually going to maybe be able to do is throw in maybe 2 more harvesting arrays. So we're going to try and do that before we hit submit, because we don't want to lose any extra cash. So we'll get rid of these, and we'll throw in our extra productions. Now, another thing we can do to save power would be to get rid of these and only have 1. So let's do that. Let's save a little bit of extra money. In order to make this happen, what we're going to have to do is also move these guys up a little bit. So what we'll do is we'll get rid of all this, and we'll redesign it just a tad. So now you guys have seen a basic. Now we're moving into the more technical, the more tricky part of it, as it were. Okay. So we're going to move everything down and compress it so that we can have a tighter area so we can have more processing. So 2 productions feed into our 1 storage. Oh, I placed that wrong. My hand's all shaky. Okay, let's try this again. So we'll place him right there. And then we'll take and we'll get 2 more basics side by side right over here. Then we'll throw our 1 storage for them. Right there. These will both feed into 1 advanced processing spot right about there, with our starport being right here. And then we can throw our extractor head at the end that feeds on the aqueous liquids. Okay, so this is a little bit more compact, and I believe that this guy can still hit the aqueous liquid. Let's just triple check before, because you don't want to place it if it can't do its job. Yep, it can still hit it. It's really close, but it can still hit it. So we'll set that down. Alright, now that this is all set up, we're just going to triple check that we're having the proper design. We're going from drill head to command center as storage temporarily, and then we're going to have our 2 productions for our refining step that feed into the 1 storage box. Then again, we have our extractor that goes to a storage box, feeds into 2 refineries that then go into a storage box. From that storage box, all the refined material will go to our advanced facility, and from there it'll go to our starport. So everything is in place for this. We still have plenty of power to run our extractor heads with extra drill bits. So this actually will do pretty nicely. Let's check on how our power flows. We want to check this before we submit our final design, because we might be running low on power after connecting everything. It's very important to make sure that you're going to have power. So see, we jumped up quite a bit in power just by connecting all of our buildings. This is why you want to compress everything as much as you can, because you want to save all that power that you have, because you don't have a lot of it early on. However, with this design, we will probably be able to do 4 heads on one bit and then 3 on another. This should hopefully work. Otherwise, we'll probably be able to do 3 on each. So we'll hit submit. Now that's finalized. We deducted some money. If you want to see, for example, how many times I've messed this up,
I've done quite a bit on just planetary construction. Okay. So, this is a setup design. Let's look at how we want to do this. So, we'll first create our mining bits. So this is going to be the one for aqueous liquid. We'll install 3 drill heads for now. I might actually only be able to do 3 and 2. That would be sad. But we'll make it work for now. Alright, so we want to go as far down here as we can. Doesn't matter how far away these go, as long as they're within their bubble, because they are not connected to here. It doesn't increase in power requirement the farther away these are. That doesn't matter. See, I could have this all the way out to the far reaching, and it doesn't increase in power need. So that's why you want to keep this area. It doesn't matter how far out you have to go. You just want to keep it within your area that you're going to harvest from. Hopefully with as much as you can get. We're going to increase our time again. Here we go. Oh, I should probably explain what this is. So the extraction area is the time, as you increase it, increases the circle bubble that your harvesting arrays do, and it also increases the amount of time that they're harvesting, while decreasing the amount of materials you're getting an hour. The reasoning behind you would want to do this is because, let's say you don't visit your site every day, or you don't visit it every hour. You want to make it so that you are having it run all the time while you're offline or online, and that you're able to see and check on it at least within that time period. So I can guarantee that I'm able to come and check on it at least every 2 days. So for now, we'll leave it at 2 days. Oop, a little bit too far. There we go, 2 days. So as you can see, they increased in size. Now, placing your drill heads. So your goal right now is, if you're having this design, you want to be able to support 2 small production spots. So all you really need to get is at least 6,000 units an hour. So with this setup, I can do that. Oh, by the way, do not place these over each other. They'll get a little static field. You'll also have negative numbers right here. This means that the drills aren't working at top efficiency, and you want them to do that. So keeping these bubbles not overlapping, but as close to each other as you can, is very effective. So, as you can see, it kind of gives you a graph saying it's going to deplete as it goes. So I will be checking on this at least every 2 days. I might check on it sooner, and then I can restart my next program run. If I was able to check it every day, I'd obviously want to check it every day. Or if I was able to check it every 12 hours, I'd want to check it every 12 hours. Because, I mean, right now I can do 8,000, but let's say if I had this going for an hour, I'm getting 13,000. It's a lot better, and it's a lot more continuous as well. Okay, so let's go back to 2 days, and we'll set up our next drill head. Okay, and we will install that job. So that will be harvesting our aqueous liquid. Now we'll get our ionic solutions. Let's install 3 drill heads. Ooh, I can't do it. Oh no, I have to do 2 each? That's sad. Okay. I don't know if I can get 6,000 from doing 2 heads. Well, we'll find out. So we'll come over here and we'll remove one of our drill heads. So, I don't believe I can get it as a continuous for 2 days, so we'll drag it down to 1. And I'll try to at least check it every day. Or we can actually make it a little longer, so let's do that. Because I can't guarantee that I'll be here every day. But every day in 12 hours, it's a little more reasonable. So what we'll do is we'll kind of put it in a high spot. That's getting about 6,000, so we'll install that. Although it only does it for a short amount of time, that's okay. So, for our needs, that's okay for right now. When we get an upgraded command center, I can add more drill heads. So once again, we'll get 2 drill heads. This one's for aqueous, or no, ionic solutions, my bad. Ionic solutions, okay. So, we're going to run this for about a day, a little over a day. Now, because I have a better hotspot here, I'm getting a lot more materials from running this, so I can actually run this for a little longer than I can the other one. But since I want to check this planet anyway, we'll keep it nearby the same amount of time. install that job. Now that you have your extractor heads running, what you want to do is you want to create the routes between these. That's what the connective lines are for, is to move products from one to the other. You cannot move from one storage facility to another. So for example, I could not move from this storage box to the starport. I can only move from a storage box to a processing unit, and from a processing unit I can move it to anything. I could move straight from a processing unit to another processing unit. I just prefer to have a storage box in between them because then it runs less risk of clogging your system where you can't move forward because the other thing hasn't finished yet. So what we'll do is we'll create a route for these goods. So if I go to products, it has aqueous liquids here. We'll click on that, go to create route, then you'll select the spot you want to take it, which for us is the storage box. If you look at routes, it's now there and it says it's going outgoing. Excellent. Now we'll create our storage box and we'll create a route from the incoming item to go to both of these. Oops, forgot. You have to set up your blueprints before you can ship products to factories. They have to be knowing what to do with those products. So for our aqueous liquids, we're creating water. So we'll just click on water here and install that job on both of these factories. And we'll do the same thing to our wow, I can't remember the idea. Ionic solutions, there you go. Whew, couldn't remember that. Okay, so for ionic solutions, we are making electrolytes. So we'll install that job at both of these. Electrolytes, install. Okay. So our final product from here is coolant. So we'll just set that in this one while we're at it. Now then, from this storage box, we're once again going to create our routes. Aqueous liquid will go to both of these production facilities. So routes, incoming, create a route, factory. Okay, so now if you look at the routes, we have two outgoings at 3,000 and an incoming at 7,722. This means we'll get a little bit of extra. That's okay. We can deal with that if we have too much extra over a long period of time, we just pick it up and store it, and ship it away or sell it. So we can make some extra income off of that. In addition, if your facility is running low for some reason, you'll have extra left over to continue running the processes. Now then, we'll do the same thing with our extractor head up here. Whoops, wrong one. Products, Ionic Solutions, create a route, and we'll ship it to our command center. Now our command center will route the goods for the incoming to our outgoing factories. Once again, we have a little bit more than we need. We'll have 8,000 coming in and 3,000 for each one leaving, so we'll have a 6,000 leaving with an 8,570 coming in, which is 2,570 extra. So that's okay. Once again, if we have we are running low for some reason, we'll have extra. That's okay. We'll go to our factories and we'll send all of our products to our little crate down here. This is the time-consuming portion when you're creating routes. So now we'll move our water to the same place. Now, the nice thing about this is since they're all in one spot, we don't have to create an individual route for all the incomings. All you have to do is create one for each type. The electrolyte goes to this place, and then the water also goes to that place. The reason you only have to create one route is because of the fact that it takes 40 for one run of this factory for each type, and you're incoming 20 from each spot. So one run from both of these factories will initiate one run of this. The downside here is that the first stage of production takes 30 minutes to run, while the advanced one takes an hour. So I'm gonna grow in the amount of stuff that's in my facility very rapidly and have excess. Now, when we upgrade our command centers, we'll fix this problem, but for now, this is gonna work. Now, the final product, you can even check here. Routes, we have incoming product, so that's good. We want our final coolant product, to be shipped to our spaceport. Our spaceport can now be used and operated by us to pick up our goods and ship them into outer space. You need a starport. They're very much required. You can, if you want, use your command center to launch your goods into space. The problem with doing this is that you're going to launch a jet can that anyone can pick up into space, aimlessly, from the planet. You will not be where the jet can launches. You'll have to find your jet can. And if somebody else finds it and picks it up, you've lost your materials. The spaceport, instead of launching it just randomly into space, will take your materials, your product, and ship it to the customs office that is surrounding the planet, that just orbits the planet. And then you'll just pick the commodity up from the customs office. In addition, let's say you didn't want to do the extractor heads. That was too much work. Why would you want to do that? You want to just go buy your stuff. So what you can do instead is you can go buy your raw material off the market, bring it to your planet, put it in the customs office, and then ship it from the customs office to your starport. And then you can do your production run from there. So, once again, we're going to hit submit to save all of our work, and now our production line will create coolant. I hope this video was helpful, and sorry it took so long. Enjoy!